It's Monday, which means it's time for Enterprise at 8. This is Live Long and Podcast Star Trek Enterprise rewatch series. We are now in our final season of this underrated series. It's been around 20 years.
20 years?
All right, trips back. All right. Since tonight's episode, In a Mirror Darkly 1 and 2 first aired, but we're just getting started here at Enterprise at 8. I'm Mirror Universe Jody Simpson. And along with me is, of course, my co-host, Normal Universe Adam Woodward.
Oh, I was going to yell the whole episode, but now that you called me normal, I'll be okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Or is he an imposter?
Well, he could be an imposter. We don't know. We'll find out later, I guess.
Yes,
and
sir.
Of course, joining Adam and I is Live Long and Podcast awesome producer and the man who believes these people have some strange ideas about uniforms, Dave Mater.
That's right. I couldn't help watch this today. I wonder if people in the Mirror universe watch Mirror Enterprise, and what was their crossover episode? Which two episodes did they see from the original series? So we'll get into that tonight.
That is way deep.
Yeah, I know.
Way deep, Dave.
I came ready.
Yeah, you went right down the rabbit hole. And of course, who could forget the man whose motto is great men are not peacemakers, great men are conquerors, Kevin Millard.
Adam and I have to make our escape from this universe.
Oh,
we're in the Mirror universe, and Adam and I are going to try and make an escape.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck to you. All right. Anyway, as I said, tonight's episodes is In the Mirror Darkly, parts 1 and 2. This is the 93rd and 94th episode of the series. We only have a couple more left, boys. Well, we actually have 2 more podcasts left, technically, unless we do like a special one at the end. I don't know. Maybe we should do a special one. What do you think, guys?
It's a nice idea. We've talked. We meant to do one on original series, but we never did it. So
maybe
we'll top 5 episodes and top worst episodes.
That's you know what, we'll do it based on our rating and make sure it still flies that way. All right, we'll do one more then. So we got 3 more episodes. Then. All right, what's this? Hopefully Kevin liked this one more than Pound. Well, here's hoping. Face purple crying. I guess that was an emoji that just translates it, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm guessing we're not getting the context there.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting the context. Anyway, this episode is about In the Mirror universe, Captain Archer mutinies against Captain Forrest in order. Commander Archer, excuse me. Mutinies against Captain Forrest in order to capture a future Earth ship found in Tholian space.
Yep.
Initial thoughts, gentlemen.
Okay, I'll go first. So there was some great parts of this episode. I really liked how it looked. Some of the story was fantastic. Some really sucked. And and I can't wait to unpack it here.
Apparently, Sam says I'm going to have an orgasm this episode.
Oh, excellent.
Well, I can't wait to see that.
Okay,
we will make an interesting episode.
I'm gonna go, guys.
Mirror Dave is saucy and sexy like the attendant.
Wow.
Right. Wait till I show my midriff.
All right. Well, I can't wait for your midriff, Dave.
You can't handle it.
Personally, I don't think I can handle it. All right. Yeah, I agree with you, Adam. I think there's a lot of it is fun. But I also think there's a couple things that are just a little boring. But what's that? Oh my God, Jody, not at a 3/4 angle. Yes, because I'm currently trying out my green screen situation here. So we're now dead on. Except I'm constantly looking to one side because the monitor that I'm looking at is on one side of the screen. So what can you do? Can't win them all. All right. So I swear I'm paying attention.
Yeah, I'll go next in terms of just thoughts on the episode. I really, really like it. I think that there are some parts of it that are sort of not great just because the line could be better, the dialogue could be better, the characters could be a little bit more interesting, stuff like that. Like, I think they could have done another pass on the script to make it stronger, but I think it's really good. Like, it comes out of nowhere. There's no setup for it whatsoever. It's over and it's done. And then you move on. And that's it. Yeah. And, I forgot about.
And speaking of weird mirror universes.
Yeah.
Somebody has shown up. Who could
Somebody-
this possibly be? Well, let's give him a second because we can see him in our preview windows here, but I want to make sure he's ready to go before we just unleash him to the world.
I think he's
All right,
ready.
I think he's ready. Bring him in.
I'm ready.
It's Jaemeel.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. I
Hello,
finally made it to Enterprise at 8.
Oh, we're glad to have you, Jaemeel.
I got my Kraken. I've loaded up.
He's a
It's
Davan.
Davan.
No.
No, it's better.
It's better. It's Jaemeel.
Oh,
What-
I'm ready.
All right. Well, Kevin, what did you think of this?
I thought it was good. I think Dave, your analysis is spot on. Like, so the story could have maybe used another pass over it. And Scott Bakula could have used another pass at acting school. He is fucking awful in this.
He's awful in
episode.
this episode.
What do you mean?
But I think actually that was intentional. Because
No, he
I
wasn't
think he's
like-
trying to be like original series Kirk. Like just
Is that
Right,
what
yeah,
he's
he's
trying to
trying to-
do?
He's trying to be a bad guy, and he sucks at it. He really sucks at it. This is
But isn't that kind of the point that he's a terrible bad guy? That's the whole reason
the whole
why
point.
No.
he's never been in a position of power.
I don't mean
Yeah.
that Archer is bad at being bad. I mean Scott Bakula is
Bakula.
bad at acting that part.
Destroy them.
I think I personally think it was intentional, but I also don't think he's a great actor to begin with. His
I
quantum
liked a
leap,
lot of the stuff. he's
yeah,
done
I
with
can
this.
definitely tell you that. But-
You know, Jody, he took a lot of steps forward in the last little while, and now he just took a giant one back.
I still think it was intentional. I think
I think this is more fun. He was hamming
it's
it
so
up on this
goofy.
one.
Yeah, it's so goofy. I think this was intentional.
It's yeah, he's just such a like over the top mustache twirler in this whole thing. But
It may
I'll
have
get
been
you, Forrest.
intentional.
he's
It may have been
trying to be
intentional, but
the,
it wasn't
yeah.
entertaining.
he's trying to be the opposite of Prime Archer, I suppose. But he's like I agree. He's not the best actor in the world. No, I don't think
no.
anyone ever thought Scott.
I don't
Bakula-
think any of us have actually ever. Said that.
you know, he can play the nice guy pretty well.
You know who was terribly awful in this episode was DePaul.
Yeah,
Yes,
I agree.
Yeah.
but again, was that on purpose? I think it was.
I think they just said
I
be
think the whole
everything that
point
you're
of this
not.
episode was just for them to be corny and stupid.
Yeah, if
Like that was.
if normally you're a good actor, now you're not. Like it's opposite day.
It's like Malcolm.
Well, it's a
Malcolm was
mirror.
actually good. He was actually good.
he was better. Yeah.
Malcolm was good.
Travis was more wooden than he is in the Prime universe.
But he had the hair. The hair
Yeah.
was better though.
He had more of a crew cut.
Yes.
Who
What
else?
Trip?
Phlox was kind of like he's just kind of sadistic in the
Well,
mirror
doing the
universe.
vivisections in his lab there. Yes, it was pretty bad.
yeah.
Yeah. And
And then we have Hoshi.
Hoshi.
and Trip's about the same. Trip equally is moody in both universes, except he's got some disfigurements.
I love to see that Trip and T'Pol have the same relationship. in the
Exactly.
mirror
They were still
universe.
flirting.
Compared to Mirror Cisco.
Yeah,
It's about
That was fantastic acting.
that's
That-
great.
that one was right on the nose. there.
Terrans don't have souls. We don't believe in them.
Okay,
Okay. Well,
Smiley. I'm gonna call
Okay.
you Smiley.
there's some. I don't know. We can.
Anyway,
talk.
we got a lot to get to.
We
here,
got
guys.
2 episodes to pop through. Let's hit the
pop it
screenshots.
through. Yeah.
Let's start with the opener right off the bat. The whole Zephyr first contact.
Well, they used this from the movie, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is
from
footage
First
directly in
Contact.
the movie, but they
Even the
couldn't get-
music.
They
Even
did
the
a
music.
great job of incorporating the new part to it, though. I thought they did
Yeah.
a really good job there.
Good stand-in.
We
Yeah.
get the stand in, we get the Vulcan, the whole gesture. Okay, I don't know if we see the guy here, but I guess they couldn't get Alfie Woodward, so they had this guy who's like, "Let's get board
Get
the
'em!"
ship." Yeah, like
But
got the
that
ship.
could be the difference in terms of like just the different universes. Like, there wasn't.
yeah, maybe what was her character's name? Lily's not here. I don't know, but in this version, but it looks pretty similar. I'm guessing in the Mirror Universe they also had a World War III, but and you presume it'd be worse in their version. But these
never know. It might have been over in like 2 days.
Yeah, maybe. But they take over. Then we get the opening credits that last for these 2 episodes.
I also like the fact that the titles are black instead of white, which I thought was just a nice little touch there.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of whenever special episodes occur, they change the intro.
Me too.
Right.
Yeah, I think
especially
it's
in
nice
this show because the regular intro is such powerful shit.
Oh, yeah. I love it. Although, if they could have found some way to do like a Terran Empire version of Faith of the Heart,
that would have been amazing.
Like a metal version.
A metal version, Metallica version.
There's got to be something out there, right? Well, we're told that the Terran Empire has survived for hundreds of years by Archer in these episodes. So we're saying like the remnants of that. But
I have no idea where they got some of this stock footage though, because it looks awfully familiar. Like I think I've seen it in something before.
Like everything, like it's just everywhere. Yeah,
just like war shots. This is one of my favorites. The guy,
it's so bad.
Filmed in a Hollywood studio.
Yeah, the guy on the moon with the flag.
Did Stanley Kubrick do this one too?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. And a couple of those other ships behind Enterprise there, the Mirror Enterprise. I don't even know what class they are, but they're kind of cool looking. We see it in the opening credits, and then when you think that it's over, it keeps going.
Just keep going.
They're fighting everybody, Dave. Fighting everybody.
Some of these screenshots are garbage because I'm terrible.
They're blowing up, and then we get that whole spinning thing at the end. The captain's
music's
log.
even great at the end of that. It's like, it's like really powerful stuff.
See the ISS Enterprise with these yellow decals.
Yeah, the yellow decals are stupid.
All it needs is a spoiler.
ISS Enterprise.
A spoiler and some underglow.
Yeah.
They got hate of the heart as
I got hate of the heart.
We're gonna put Michael on it. He's done country stylings. Now he's gonna do this next.
Has he done country stylings?
Have you not heard the self-driving car that left him?
I guess not.
Okay.
No, I guess you'll have to catch me up on that. Okay, in a mirror darkly, the title card. We see the Tellarite being tortured in the prototype agony booth. This is the very first agony booth ever. What an innovation for the Empire.
Indeed.
We can torture people forever, and they just don't. It's just fantastic.
Eventually, your brain will turn off.
Get used to it.
Yeah,
it moves to different clusters, so the pain is never ending.
Yeah,
it was like.
We get to meet here Captain Forrest with Commander Archer, not the cap. Forrest dead in the Prime universe by this point, blown up in that embassy bombing. But here he's commanding Enterprise. We see a couple other changes. Of course, Archer's haircut also a little different, I would say.
He's definitely got that. He's got the Marine type haircut going on.
More militaristic. We also see here Reed is a Mako in the Mirror universe.
He finally found something to do.
Yes.
I'm so happy for him.
Developed a torture booth. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what though? It sounds like he's competent in this universe.
Yes.
Yeah. A little too competent from the way that Archer describes it.
Yeah.
He actually his actually smirk the whole ephod is a little unsettling.
It is very unsettling. And that's why I think it was on purpose.
He's like the Gestapo,
too.
right? Yeah.
Phlox too. Phlox is the
most Phlox is brutal in these episodes.
Yeah.
He's like wearing a Kardashian outfit the whole time.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So we see this conflict here between Archer and Forrest.
Look at Archer. He just looks like a bad dollar store GI Joe mold.
See that face? It never left him the whole episode.
No, this is like that entire episode.
That look of poo under your nose, sort of thing.
Like he's smelling something he doesn't like.
Yeah.
The direction was your chin should first enter a room wherever you go.
Yeah. If your chin and your nose should be the same length.
Yeah, he's mugging it for the entire two-parter.
Yeah.
But
Entire time.
in this setup, Archer wants to go look for a ship. Forrest says no. Then Archer objects, and Forrest says, "I'll put you in the agony booth if you don't shut the hell up." And
Well, he's like, you can either go back to your the bridge, or you can go into the agony booth.
right. But you see the surprise when Archer like questions his orders and pushes the issue. It and we see that Archer normally wouldn't do that, maybe, but he does this time. We go to the captain's quarters where Forrest is there, and he's with Hoshi Sato, who's the captain's woman here.
The star of these 2 episodes.
Really
Yes.
is, you know.
She really is. She's in like almost every scene.
But she seems to actually care about Captain Forrest on some level, like, you know, just
I think that's the manipulation, you know, right?
No,
Yeah,
I think
she sleeps
does. I
with
think
like
she just-
3 different people in these episodes. Like,
No, she cares about him. She just cares about her career far more.
Yeah.
right.
So
Exactly.
wait. We have to talk about this because we came off Bound last week where we had like slave women trying to, you know, and then honestly, this episode's no better. You got
This is empowering. What are you talking about?
empowering. Okay.
Yes.
like the end of the episode has her being the new empress.
correct.
Like, she rides the ranks there, Adam.
Yeah,
Don't
I think that this
mock
is
it.
sometimes a misconception of the mirror universe that the women are sex slaves or something, but I think it's more that they use sex and sex appeal towards their own ends, and they're less shameful about it than the Prime universe.
Sam
counterparts
says
would be.
Linda Park's acting is a 10 out of 10.
Actually,
Sam.
she did act very well. I
Yeah.
thought she was great. I wish we saw more of her through this whole 4 seasons.
You know what?
I agree.
I started in season 1 not liking her character at all. I didn't like her, and by the end of the series, I'm like, yeah, she's probably one of my favorite characters now. So
Right. I
Well,
really
in
enjoyed
that
her.
first season, they make her annoying. Like,
she is really
like,
annoying in the first
she's
season.
like, I need my quarters moved because the stars are going the wrong direction. They go the same direction on both sides of the ship, for God's sake.
Move your bed. Move your bed.
jackass.
Yeah. Can you just put your pillow on the other side? I don't know. But anyway.
Or, you know, close the drapes.
So we see there that also in that scene is established that the rebellion is going badly for the Empire, that they
Yes,
lost
yeah.
ships at Tau Ceti. That's also explained in that scene.
12 ships.
All right. And then
You know what's sorry, one more thing. Go back one, please. That picture. That face of Forrester there. Forrest, he's that's the only time you saw him look like that was when he was pissed at Archer for like insulting the Vulcans.
Soval.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you would be here. Yeah, he's a grumpier than his Prime Universe counterpart, but he's still, you know,
He's alive.
yeah, he's alive too. He's more lively. Then we actually get the mutiny where Archer takes over the ship with the help of Reed and the Makos.
I like to call this mutiny number 1.
This is mutiny
Yes.
number 1.
I
There
believe
will be
there was
many.
3 of them
Yeah,
total.
but why does he not kill Forrest?
Because he needed Sato, and he needed her to be compliant.
Her to be compliant.
I do like the fact that they changed the arm patch, though. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah,
The Enterprise arm patch has like got
Got
2
the
like
swords
daggers.
underneath?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, going underneath.
That's
That's
pretty
Little
neat.
subtle changes.
Yeah, I like it.
yeah. I just think
He expresses to her, you know, don't do anything funny, or I'll have to hurt Forrest. So,
Yeah.
right.
yeah.
I
they
did
go
like
under.
this part though.
Where Reed says, well, maybe he'll have an accident.
Yeah,
and
he'll have an accident on his way to the brig or something like
Oh,
that.
you-
And he's like, "You will do exactly what I told
what
you."
I tell you.
And
Yes.
look, Travis is. Oh, go back, dude. That guy is a changed man. He has an earring now.
I didn't know he was at first, but then good thing they had that name tag on the shoulder. So
Yeah,
then
I
we get
think
to
the
the bridge.
Makos patch is different too. I don't remember it being a skull.
Didn't have the skull. No, it had
Yeah,
a
like-
shark.
Yeah, I
It,
doubt it.
It
has
was a shark.
in-
That's
in the
right.
Prime
Yeah, it was a
universe, yeah.
shark in the Prime Universe. Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't have that black vest either. That's also the added thing.
Well, the black vest just makes him look more like 80s street thug.
Yeah,
Like,
There should have been
but the Lords of Hell, like in
Yeah.
Adventures in Babysitting.
yeah.
You know?
There should
why
have been like
don't
a
you
delete.
come out and play?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have a delete scene
The
where there's
Warriors,
the different
there
things.
goes my
There's
green
the
screen.
the Warriors.
So the scene here on the bridge, we see T'Pol in the command seat. We get to see her midriff. That's a midriff there, Sam. If you were
That's a
wondering.
midriff if you didn't know what a midriff
Yeah, her
was.
belly
It's,
button. Yeah,
I'm not sure how you got to the age that you did without knowing what a midriff is, but you know, good on you.
It's all right.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Enjoy your innocence, my man.
Yeah, and then we see Archer make the announcement. This is First Officer Archer. I'm taking over the ship. We see Phlox dissecting this thing that was clearly still alive while he was dissecting it.
Yeah, it was wiggling and stuff, but obviously,
Yeah, it was. Its parts were beating. We get our first shot of Trip here with the melted face,
or as I like to call him, Mad Max Trip.
Yeah. Yeah, but he takes over. Long live the Empire! All those things.
Long live that Empire.
Yeah. But we see DePaul's not down.
Go back to Travis for a second. Yeah, he's supposed to be in a Michael Jackson video right now.
He looks a little like Arsenio Hall. You know?
Yeah,
A little bit,
he's got some Arsenio vibe.
Like, yeah, maybe.
And the girl behind him is like totally not impressed at all. She's just like, oh. And there she is again. She's not impressed with DePaul either.
Yeah.
Archer takes over, takes the chair.
I love the little things. Like, okay, I know there's complaints about the performances of Bakula, but the little like things, like when he sits down in the chair and you see how he grasps and fondles it, and then he kind of just restrains himself. Like, no, there's still more to be done. Like, I like those little things they put to the character.
Yeah, he's got the same thing like Nicolas Cage did in Gone in 60 Seconds, where he like kind of strokes the cars before he starts them up.
Yeah, he has the shotgun here that from Zephyr Cochrane killing the first Vulcan, which I thought was weird that he has it in the ready room. You think they put that in the museum back on Terra, but
well, his ready room is basically a museum. He's got all these.
I don't know if there's going to be a lot of museums in this mirror universe.
Maybe not.
No, probably not.
Maybe it's just trophy rooms.
Yeah.
So yeah, but he has it on board the ship. He talks about how Earth turned the tables on the Vulcans, because the Vulcans it was an invasion forced by the mirror Vulcans, we're told. At least by Archer. I think that's what his perception of it was. And that they turned the tables.
Crazy weapons going on there.
Yeah. Instead of like the pictures of different enterprises.
I personally like the doll butter knives that they have there. I think those are pretty neat.
Yes. Spears, all kinds of things. And then this little pep talk where he's like, "Hey, Travis, you can be my personal guard. You get better food and your own room. Isn't that cool?" You know, he's like, "Yes, sir. Let me just
Do I get to keep my earring?"
Yeah, do I keep? He's like,
"Oh, we got to see Porthos too," which in this
universe, Porthos is just
he's a Roddy. Yes, exactly.
He's a cranky.
It would have been nice if it was the same dog and they just had it bark a few times.
or Kevin, if they put that that costume on they had in that other dog back in the original series.
With the horn.
With the horn, and
they had a horn glued to its head or something. That would have been good.
He'd be a Mugutu or whatever.
Yeah. He's like, "You already got the job, Sergeant. Don't mess it up." But ultimately, it will be Travis who helps Hoshi take over the whole empire. So these lower deckers.
Those earrings don't pay for themselves, Dave.
Yeah,
true. Then Hoshi shows up to see Archer, and we get more of the filled in that they used to be a thing, and then she left Archer because she went with Forrest to advance her career. But they were a couple, unlike in the Prime universe, which I don't think they ever were a couple, right? And he shows her that Forrest is alive, which he does. I think you're right, to make sure she cooperates with. And
do you think she cares? Like I didn't
yes.
get that point. I don't.
Yes, yes, I do think she cares.
I think she cares about the amount of time and effort she's invested in their relationship for her promotion. Just like how she goes back into the old habits with Archer to kind of let his guard down a little bit. I think that's always the game with her.
Yeah.
I don't think she cares more about Forrest than herself. I just think she cares more about Forrest than she cares about Archer. And I think that when Forrest dies, Forrest ends up sacrificing himself by the end of this episode. And he's kind of as noble of a Terran as we ever get. So,
at least in this timeline, yeah.
Right. So I think that there's part of her that when he dies, I think she's like, I don't care now. I'm going to do whatever I need to. Right. Mm-hmm. So for me, but she goes along, she starts kissing Archer only to pull a knife on him. But then, he stops her and all that. Right. So I don't think she cares about Archer. I think Archer is more, she's using Archer.
But she does kill him in the end. So
spoilers,
I guess.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay, then in the bridge here, they get what's going on in this scene? This is where they get the Tholians. They attack the Tholians.
They're attacking the Tholians, yeah.
Yeah, the Tholian tries to blow himself up, but they manage to beam him away in time. Phlox has to fill up the decon chamber with some extreme things, and this is the first time we ever get. No, we did see the Tholians on screen in the original series, but it was kind of. This was kind of
wasn't like this.
It wasn't like this. We actually get to see what they look like for the first time. We get to see them, like they had the 8 legs and this kind of stuff, and
they're very hot.
They're very hot. They're a crystal silicon form. They speak in screeches and tones. And they want information. And they start torturing it by just cooling down the chamber because it has to be like 500 Kelvin in there for it to live. So even lowering it 50 degrees is like a huge difference.
Yeah, they lower it down to 100
right.
by 100. To get it to talk.
And it does. Eventually, it starts giving them information. But we find out by the end of it that it starts transmitting. It's like a signal, like using its own body as a transmitter. And they put
it like a CB built in, basically.
Yeah, they put it to sleep by the end, but that will come back to bite them. Then
I love that Phlox just in this episode just seems to love watching people in pain. Like he's all about it.
Yeah. He's
terrifying.
He's a doctor, but all the doctors in the Mirror Universe are very sadistic and uncaring. They're anti-vaxxers.
They're not anti-vaxxers.
Oh, they're not anti-vaxxers. Well, they like self-preservation. And then in engineering, there's the scene here with
magma,
yeah, liquid hot magma from Trippin to Paul. Where they're working on the thing. He talks about, hey, if you need help with your pond fire again, I'm here to help.
How long until it's again?
Yeah, how many years do I have to wait?
He also explains that
you can't even score in this universe.
He explains his deformities are from the delta radiation coming from the engine. That all engineers in the Starfleet are exposed to this.
I guess they don't have really good O-rings there.
I guess they probably rushed the development of the Warp 5 engine, and therefore it's partly hazardous. I don't
know. Every time he's on screen and I can see the side of him that's screwed up, I always think of Quaid from Total Recall.
I think of Phantom of the Opera.
Quaid.
Oh my gosh.
He's got Quato in his
I told you this was going to be a fun episode to talk about.
Quatu.
Yeah. So there's the power surge here that knocks out the cloaking device. They're trying to figure out who did it. So he puts Reed on it. Reed eventually.
Why do you keep winking at me, Reed? Or Trip?
Stop
winking at me, Trip.
This whole investigation just seems absurd.
If
you see both of them there, it's like, Reed, get on it. Well, it must be a thing. Not to Paul, who was right there, who can't be trusted.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the
who could it have been?
We know that the Terrans don't really do investigations. They just every investigation is an excuse for torture. So
it appears so, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. He goes to
I'm
see
interested in details.
Right. He goes
I'm
to
so
see
glad they got
Forrest.
these smaller brigs now, though. It's way easier to.
They need more, Jody. They need more of them.
Yeah.
He's basically like,
look at that acting.
Dude is a badass with that earring.
All in the earring.
It's all the earring.
I like how Forrest is calling out Archer, right? And then Archer steps in. He's like, "Well, what are you doing?" What? All of a sudden, he's actually stepping up to him. Yeah, it showed that he really cared about this specific.
One thing
plan.
I did like about this scene, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but near the end, just before Archer lets him go, his fucking eye is red. It is blistered red. I don't know if they did that in post-production or what, but he looks like he's been choked. like
Or
hard.
maybe Scott
Kinda
Bakula
catches your
actually
little.
has a beef with this guy.
Maybe.
Or Scott Bakula's not good at this part of acting either.
He's like, I will just choke this bitch.
You work stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pull out the,
He's like, he's gonna cut me for sure.
He's gonna cut me. Oh no.
Yeah, and then he just throws him against the wall.
He's like, "Oh my God, Scott, this is just pretend."
And he
We're
says,
doing a show.
if you kill me, Hoshi will never forgive you. And that's when he throws him down. Then Reed brings the little report here with the intelligence saying only one guy could have done the power surge. And he ran the diagnostic 30 minutes before it. It was Tucker. So Tucker gets through.
You know how boring, you know how boring Malcolm is? Even in the mirror universe, he has the same haircut. like it's literally the same shape and everything. Like they did nothing for him. No.
And he's pretty much the same character. He just doesn't want to die in this universe.
Yeah.
Not as much anyway.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a screenshot.
So great.
Yeah, he's like, I'm loyal to you. And then he tells Reed to break him.
You happen to have fava beans.
Yeah. Then we catch up with Hoshi and Archer in bed having post-coital.
Well, you can tell because somebody put oil on them.
Yeah, they were little spritz there. But she was happy with his performance, not like Forrest. So she was like that young guy. But he was like, there's no way T'Pol would have he figures out T'Pol's might be up to something, but he figures this sort of as he's kind of like laying there with Hoshi.
Well, and he literally like runs out of the room. He's like, okay, gotta go, bye.
Now, can we just talk about the ugliness of these Vulcan wigs that these two guys are wearing? These are some hideous looking Vulcan wigs.
They are amazing.
I
don't know what you're talking about.
I never saw the guys behind her, honestly, until now. So
all I could see was midriff.
Yeah.
But
they do a very specific job of like, okay, focus on the midriff. Whenever they're sitting down, they have to sit down on an angle or
on an angle, exactly.
Always on an angle.
But at least it wasn't just like the two main characters. Like all the women in the background were the same as well. So
except the Mako.
The one
Mako. The Makos don't have to show their midriffs. But Starfleet has that.
It would have been funny though to have them do that as well with tiny bulletproof vests.
Just you can have that Japanese RPG logic where like they wear something that covers their boobs and that's it.
Yeah. The barely armor.
That's the only place that arrows will hit me.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Right. So T'Pol retakes the bridge and frees Forrest.
Which he says he appreciates every angle.
Of course he does.
We do too.
But Archer explains, I've locked the ship onto a trajectory. There's no way you can even take us off course. We are heading towards our destination, whether you like it or not.
The hell is this shirt?
It's like his pajama shirt or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the first time he's looked cool.
Won't last, don't worry.
He's looking for Goose.
I know.
Right now.
Yeah. Then he gets thrown
Talk
in the
to me,
agony
Goose.
booth.
Talk to me.
I did like how Flux is like 10 hours in the booth. Impressive.
Yeah.
He's so excited.
Yeah, he's like, this guy went 10 hours.
I got to watch him in pain for 10 hours.
Well, to be fair, all the people that he put in through the booth, he's like, look, I had my turn too. So, and I didn't break.
Yeah, and then he goes, Admiral, is it Admiral Black? Because one of the admirals is like, I can't kill you because the admiral told me I wasn't allowed to, and we have to continue with the mission because he likes what your report. That was the insurance policy that Archer talks about earlier. So he's like, get yourself cleaned up and get it to the senior staff meeting in an hour. So
am I the only person that thinks like literally putting like fluorescent yellow paint on your ship is a bad idea in space?
Bad idea.
Oh yeah.
Like it just
this doesn't look good.
A, it's dumb, and B, like it makes people easier to see if further away. Like
the blinking lights don't do that too.
Well, I guess
the lit up pistels.
Yeah, okay.
Like
let's just move on, Dave.
Yeah, the conference room.
I like how they put the midriffs in the front.
Yep.
That was a very good design.
See every angle, you'll see it.
Well, Worldmind will appreciate that.
Yes. Then we get the briefing here, and we get to see that there's a ship that's come through. That he explains the whole thing with the Tholians, that they opened up like an interspatial plexure or whatever, and they got a ship.
Enhance. It's
there somewhere. I got a better picture of it later.
No, you don't.
Oh, we do. It's near the end of the episode.
All right. I think you mean maybe this.
Enhance.
I can't enhance. But we see it. We can see it's the Defiant, right?
Yeah, the Defiant.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we don't get quite the full reveal here until the end, right? So, because
I thought it was interesting that they blocked the USS part.
Well, I guess, but he says it's from another universe too, and we're like, well, what universe?
But they blocked it on the video screen,
right? I think because they want it to be more of a reveal later when they actually get to the place.
It looks like an old school ship. Like, what more is to reveal?
It could be the ISS Enterprise Defiant.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Right. So from the future, but I think the audience kind of knows. Then we find out that Trip has been released. He confronts T'Pol, who confirms she mind melded him and got him to sabotage the ship on purpose, and that's why he, and he's like, I was in the agony booth for like 12 hours or something.
That's the great thing about this mirror universe. All the people in it, they just love to tell you exactly how they fucked you over. Like they can't get enough of it.
It's like everybody's a Karen.
Yeah,
everybody's a Karen bitching at the manager.
Yeah, she's like, I lured you away with the promise of a sexual relationship, and then I mind melded you, and then I erased your memory.
This is a long drawn out plan.
It was extremely.
It worked. Then they cloak the ship after that with the Suleiman device. They get to the facility of the Tholians, and then we can kind of see it there. Then we get the Enhance. USS Defiant, which last seen in the Tholian web in the original series.
Yes.
And we never knew what happened to it. That was that whole episode where Kirk is like fading away for the whole time and everything. You know?
And when the mirror went in, fun fact here, when the Mirror Archer and the team board the Defiant, the captain and crew are in the exact same positions they were.
Oh, that's cool detail.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is neat.
Right, but the neck being broken, I think that's referenced when they first board that ship and stuff like that.
Angle.
Yeah, and so they come up with their plan to board the ship, but Forrest says we're blowing it up. We can't get out of here. But Archer wants to take over the ship and commandeer the ship, which Forrest overrides. He also then tells T'Pol, make sure Archer does not come back from this mission. So again, like they don't want to kill each other openly, or like I guess that's against.
And these are the days of our lives.
It's a stressful place to live and work, man. Like,
yeah. Everyone's trying to kill you.
Like
this mirror
like
episode is basically like a soap opera. It's crazy.
Yeah. They're like, what if humans were Romulans? This is what would happen.
Yeah.
So
he can't openly defy Black's orders, so therefore he has to use subterfuge to try to get rid of Archer.
He's like a little accident for Archer. Archer beams over with the team. They start going through the Defiant, and I really love how like the attention to detail in the uniforms, in the set design that shows like Strange New Worlds and Discovery never could observe for some reason.
Come
on. Like that the phasers look exactly.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I am absolutely surprised by what you're saying right now.
So wait a second here.
I didn't expect this.
Jody, they had no money left, and they just basically went and purged everything they had left from the old series to bring it over to make it look good. And they made it look good.
Well, and I'm pretty sure like the Defiant set is pretty close to the Enterprise set, and they already had that already built for the DS9 episode. So,
but this is like 5 years later.
They
still had a set.
Yeah. But like it looks amazing.
They did a great job. Yeah.
It looks so. I'm like this. Like you didn't need to retcon any of this shit. It's all great.
Dave,
I'm right.
I'm right.
You have your opinion.
My opinion is correct.
So you think? No, hold on. We need to stop. You think that Strange New Worlds should look like the original series?
It wouldn't hurt.
You're wrong.
You're
You're
wrong.
not right. You are wrong.
Why am I wrong? Hold on,
Because
time
that
out.
show would fail immediately in today's. Like, there's
What
no
part of
way.
it? What
People
about the
would look at that and barf. Their eyes would literally barf.
What
No way.
specifically?
What do you mean? What
Okay.
specifically?
The sets
Like-
were kind of boring, Dave. I got to tell you, like,
Boring.
Yeah,
They look like cardboard. They look
they
like
have to
cardboard
be
sets,
updated.
right?
you know what? When we saw, like, I hated them back when we did the original series we watched, but the little fences, the red fences everywhere.
They look great.
No,
That's nostalgia talking, Dave.
No, Strange New Worlds does a great job, I think, of keeping in the spirit of the original, but it doesn't have to look like the original. Come on.
I will not.
It doesn't. You don't want it to look like the 60s. Jesus Christ.
What's wrong with the 60s?
What are you even saying?
I'm saying that the original series does look, the decor completely holds up in canon. You don't need to change it.
Jody,
I
That
am
was
not
a-
getting
hold up
into
for-
this at all.
It
Jody,
might
that
hold
was
up
the
for
time.
one
That was a time, and that's the way we thought back then.
Yeah,
Sam
if we
agrees
get-
with me.
if
I
we
got
get
Sam.
If we
Yeah.
get Ted in here, he'll be like, "But that's all we had to do back in the '60s. We did that."
Dave, their view of the future from the 60s look great, but it's not the 60s anymore. So our view of the future should change.
Specifically,
still-
what?
I
everything
understand
should
where
change,
Dave's coming
or
from.
only some things should change.
But
I
what, you
understand
hear
where
what
Dave's
Kevin
coming
is saying. Kevin is not saying everything needs to change.
Then
You
what?
can take the design elements and just modernize it, which they did.
I think I completely agree with Dave for what he says, but in reality, we don't have the same generation that's going to let that slide.
We're actually
No, there's
closer
no
to
way.
the next 60s than we are to the old 60s.
It is true. Yeah, we are.
And
Okay.
and like Discovery, I'm with you on Discovery. Discovery is atrocious. The set
Oh,
design on
it-
Discovery
It makes
is
my eyes
atrocious.
barf every
But
time I watch it.
I think Strange New Worlds does a great job of it.
They do. Strange New Worlds understood that you don't need to change every friggin' thing. They learned on Discovery a few things that, like, you don't need to reinvent everything just because it's not the 60s anymore or for the sake of it. You know, if
Prototype
it-
vehicle, so that's why it's different. But
But
Go
I
on.
think if the new shows look like my background, I think
Nobody
people
would
would be
watch
pretty
this.
pissy about it.
Why? Nobody would watch it if it looked like that.
It's
yes,
boring.
no one
Yeah.
will watch it.
You got to remember,
ridiculous.
we live in an age with CG and all that. Like, it's there. People aren't going to let that fly anymore.
Yeah, people
Actually,
want a modern
Like,
show to
like
look like
these
a modern
screens,
show.
these screens didn't move in the original series at all. This
Okay.
was always the picture.
They can move now. I'll allow that.
Well, okay, so where?
See,
Well,
Okay,
there
so
was
now
my
it's
green
just a
screen.
matter of where we draw the line.
Where do you draw the line?
well, moving screens. Clearly.
What
screens,
looks
honestly.
what looks dated and what looks modern? Okay, as we go here, especially we get into part
Okay,
two,
so Dave,
I want
Dave,
you to tell me, Adam.
I have one. I do have one for you. I have absolutely one to show you. So let's go.
All right.
All right, let's get back to
I
this
can't
thing.
believe Dave wants the new Star Trek to look like.
Oh,
the
I'm big now.
60s. That's fucking crazy.
There's nothing wrong with it.
All right, settle down.
In the 60s, definitely.
The Stolian web looks great. Do we have to retcon this too?
Well,
No,
it, was
that's
done,
fine.
it was done a lot faster than the original series. Is that okay?
True.
Yeah,
That was okay.
the original series. I think they just used string and literally like just like taped themselves to a
Yarn.
I'm
Yeah.
okay. I'm okay with updating special effects.
Remember those pictures that they'd have where it'd be just nails in a board and then they would just swing the string around until they made a picture?
Right. You know, like this bridge looks great.
It does look good.
This look good, but doesn't
It looked great in the 60s.
It looks great now. It looks great in all eras.
remember
No,
when,
No,
remember-
nobody's gonna watch a show.
I
on the
will.
on that bridge.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
you.
Your show will
and
last
the
an
other
hour
person that
and
watched
gets canceled
Babylon
because
5.
no one watched it.
Look at that Defiant. It looks great.
I'll agree. It looks great on the outside.
Dave is just
you could
spicy
have the
today.
ships
You're not
look the
gonna.
same
You're not
on
gonna
the
win.
They,
inside.
but they retconned the outside of the ship too.
Okay.
I'm not gonna
So
let you guys forget.
Never forget, Dave. Never.
I do
forget.
like the sounds, Dave. I like the bridge sounds.
The sounds,
Awesome.
the looks, the colors.
I watched this with headphones on. The sounds were incredible.
Yeah.
Yep.
They did a great job with that.
Yep.
Look at the angle.
The 3/4 angle.
Oh, there's an
Always
angle.
the angle.
There's an angle for you, World Mind.
So we're coming to the end of part 1 here, where Enterprise gets under attack by the Tholians, while Archer and them are over here on the Defiant, and they're trying to take over the ship. They start moving corpses out of the way. It gets bad for Enterprise, and eventually,
That looked like Chris Seymour.
yeah, he's there.
Yeah.
Forrest sacrifices himself to let the escape pods get away, although some of them are destroyed in the process. And
watches the NX get blown up.
yeah, we get to see Enterprise, the mirror version, get blown up.
Hey, go back a couple, Dave. One more. Oh, the plaque's there too. Oh, neat. Okay, go back one. Forward one. Yeah, the plaque's on the wall. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, USS Defiant, Constitution class, Tranquility base. Gets blown up here. Yeah, he's almost happy. Reed's like he's like a little sadistically smirk.
Reed's like, well, I took care of some of them.
Yeah. T'Pol looks almost sad that Forrest is gone, and we got our to be continued. So that leaves us for part 1. Then we go into part 2, which picks up right from this action. They're taking over the Defiant. Again, the system's online. And he goes, does this thing have aft torpedoes? And this is before.
He does that later on.
They blast through. They have to blast through the Tholian web first, right? We get the credits. Come back here. Yeah, they blast through with their aft on the tractor beam. Then they blast these things with the Defiance phasers. Those phasers look great. Then they start.
Are we gonna get that for the rest of this episode?
I will. I just to stick it to you guys.
This
I'm going to tell
great.
you.
This looks great.
This looks great. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Sam. The original series. Look at this room. Look at this beautiful conference room in the original series style. Great.
Tables were too small. They looked very cold.
No way. They look great. We got a picture of the Defiant.
It looks like that room that you get changed in before you have an MRI.
I can't believe that you think that a show set in the future should look like the 60s.
That's just the decor they wanted to go with at the time. It's just like how Star Wars looks like the 70s and sometimes because it was made in the 70s. And when they go in that era, that's the Luke era, they make it look like the 70s again.
That's true.
Yeah.
Who cares about Star Wars?
Exactly.
It's a good analogy and it's a good comparison.
I like them both.
Even in Battlestar Galactica, they intentionally used retro stuff just to make it look unique.
Like I think that was more of a budget thing.
But it made the show look unique and different and real and lived in.
You know how they fixed a lot of that? Everywhere is dark. Everywhere. You can barely see the like actual set design. You couldn't see that wall. It would just be darkness. It'd just be shadows.
That's like the new Star Trek. Everything's dark, especially the bridge. It would just be black everywhere. So it's just so then
I still
Dave
think they're
looks
still trying to
like
find
the 60s.
lights.
It's just dark.
Well, on Discovery, they're still trying to find the lights to turn on.
Yeah.
Especially on Picard season 3, especially.
Oh yeah, Picard was dark as well.
Yeah. Anyway, so we see Archer. They all start wearing the uniforms of the Defiant crew that they find.
I love this.
I found it in the captain's mess. Where's these people?
These people had some strange ideas about uniforms.
That's a great uniform. I actually like that version of the green tunic way better than what Pike has now. In the retcon version, not as good.
There's that stupid little fence that I can't.
That
stand.
fence is great. It's a nice little piece of decor. It's very unique, very specific.
What did you? They put Christmas cards in it or something?
Yeah,
they might. They might hang ornaments or something. We don't know. What else we got here?
He grates big blocks of cheese with it too.
Like, it doesn't bother you in this episode that they just went from a ship that looks more modern than this ship?
It doesn't look more modern. This ship's way more advanced. We see it.
No, it is advanced, but it doesn't look more modern.
It looks more modern because it's way more sleeker.
So I gotta tell you, I the first time I watched this, I had to watch it twice. The first scene because I fell asleep in it, and I couldn't remember. When I woke up, I go, "Why is the whatever they called it, the Enterprise version of the NX-01 like being blown up, and this thing is living? Like it made no sense, Dave. No sense.
Because this is 100 years more advanced.
Yeah, Doesn't look like it.
And by the time
So okay, I figure to make all things equal, like you have the older ships that look more advanced are like Android, and this is like the Apple, version where everything's stripped down and simplified, supposed to be advanced, but we really know it looks
it's Art
more
Deco.
dated.
It's kind of like it's a retro look they were going for.
Dave, you have an iPhone, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
Yeah.
You got to get that USB-C.
I don't have to.
What is this new USB-C that we're talking about?
Yeah.
Guys, we're
That's a
losing track of
horrible
the
picture of
episode.
Saturday.
Well, they won't have that on the Defiant. Because that's made in the 60s.
Dave's like, I've had enough of all your bullshit.
Do you guys want to know about Hoshisato's biographical thing?
She should have retaken her picture.
Enhance.
Jeez.
It says
Click, click,
rank,
click, click, click.
rank at retirement, lieutenant commander, former assignment, communications and protocol officer, enterprise XO1. I can't read the rest. But she does. So Mir Hoshi doesn't want to hear it. Then they look up Archer, and this says some real stuff on here, guys. Like rank and retirement, admiral, chief of staff, Starfleet Command. Because we're looking at the prime Archer, commanding officer from 2150 to 2160 of NX-01, ambassador to Andoria 2169 to 2175, then a Federation councilman, then Federation president, and I love how it just says birthplace, upstate New York. Can we get a little bit more specific?
No.
Albany, New York. Albany.
I'm just gonna like the next time we see all those guys from from Batavia and the Buffalo area, we're like, you're just from that big upstate New York, right? Like that's where Archer's born. Just there's no specific place. But anyway, he becomes Federation president.
Work in a prison. Might be best not to piss them off.
And we find out that Archer's mother's name is Sally. So
I think we already know that. I don't know why.
But long and short, he had a hell of a career.
He did.
Yeah.
They did.
So this
he had two planets named after him.
He has two planets. Archer 4 is one of
them. And now this guy, he just gets mad.
Yeah, he's all mad because he's looking at the future other Archer and
he's
feeling jealous because he's never been the captain of the NX-01 like he was, like his prime counterpart. He gets real bitter.
Dave Sam wants to know what's in that bottle.
That's a Aldebaran whiskey. It's green and it gets you drunk as hell. That stuff. So you gotta watch.
I knew
it.
Dave would know.
Yeah. Then we catch up here with Mirror Kelby, who Trip starts yelling at, much like in the Prime universe. They have a similar relationship.
He's still useless.
But in this universe, Kelby is an ensign. And so
which is probably what he should be in the normal universe too.
Yes, I agree.
But he looks exactly as angry as he did last week.
Okay, let's look at this hole for a second. All right. Obviously, it's carpeted.
Yeah.
All right. But like, they couldn't have just finished it. Like,
yeah. You want the new show to look like this, Dave.
I do. No finish on that carpet.
You know what? You don't need to put any edging on there. No edging.
Okay.
You don't need
Okay, fine. You can add an edging. I'll allow it.
All right.
But let's not go crazy here.
Yeah,
Jody, gold, Dave?
Jody, you keep this up. Dave is definitely going to finish on that with all the edging from watching this episode.
Look at those red and yellow pipes. They look great.
They do look great, but that's not in the original, really.
We never see this.
For a second there, I thought it was in a Mario game.
Ripley's aquarium looks like that too.
But yeah, we see that the Gorn guy is going to get Kelby here.
You can't say it like that, Dave. Say it properly.
It's the Gorn.
Oh,
it's the
Gorn.
So this is the first attempt to try to like modernize the Gorn. Although Stranger Worlds will go much further.
So here's number one problem. Like
just now? This is the only one.
No, I've got
number one problem. Let's go.
But why the Gorn? Like, where did this come from?
I think it's just original series callback. I think they were like, "What can we do?" And
same reason why the Gorn's in the Strange Worlds.
Right. They didn't want to make they didn't want to invent something new, so they give us something we already know. Then they start torturing this slave who I guess they picked up from the Tholians, who explains and Travis is doing the
Travis
beat
is like, I took off my beat it jacket.
Going at town on this
And
blue
this guy
guy.
just sounded so like, I don't wanna. I'm not gonna cooperate. Don't hit me.
What species is this guy?
I don't know. I don't think we've seen him before. He looks
not
kind of
sure.
like the same species that guy that Garrick got in the Pale Moonlight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He kind of looks similar, but I think he's actually not the same species.
Like,
But he's kind of in the
No.
same look. But anyway, yeah, he's just like
He's got red blood though.
He's like Slar, or the Gorn said he would kill me if I tell you. He's like, I'm gonna kill you if you don't. So
I don't know. I still would have took my chances with Gorn.
yeah,
I don't think Archer could do it.
this Archer can for
Oh,
sure.
Again, I got to.
yeah. And then they figure out that the Gorn. I loved this schematic we got of the ship.
Yeah, that was cool.
Here on the screen. See, there's a modern.
That was
They
cool.
modernized it. Guys, you don't need to worry about it. It looks just futuristic as hell. Those uniforms, all of it. Oh yeah, then I love how like Prime Archer becomes like this Jiminy Cricket for Mirror Archer and starts talking to him and mocking him.
That was
Am
cool.
Am I forgetting like what is with the insignias on the uniforms?
Well, yeah, this is one of the things they've definitely have retconned permanently. Is that okay? So the idea was that you know how like Columbia has a different assignment patch than Enterprise.
Right.
Yeah.
So the idea is that like
Each ship.
would have its own assignment patch, right? And
Well,
so,
that was true in the original series, though.
well, the original, yeah, you're right, it was, but
Yeah.
we didn't encounter other ships ever did. We saw that they would have different emblems.
They
They would still have
different
like
patches,
the
yeah.
engineering symbol or the command or the science symbol inside.
Yeah, the symbol would stay, but
right? But
Okay.
by the time,
different.
but this seems to have been something we've completely retconned away. That basically all of Starfleet uses the Delta now.
Well, once they went to the comm badges, it kind of has to.
But even
right?
like even in Discovery, which takes place before it, and now that we're seeing in Strange New Worlds, like the Cayuga doesn't have a different badge than.
I'm not familiar with this
Right.
Discovery you speak of. What is this?
It's an experimental ship.
Oh,
I
is that the one with the mushroom drive?
And so this is an example of something I think was a good change. I think having different assignment symbols on the chest here for each ship is probably not a good idea.
It's a waste of time, really.
no, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, imagine being like the people that have to like make all these uniforms. They're like, fuck.
Well, you just have to put a different patch on. But I think just for like I wouldn't remember that. Oh, that's the Defiant symbol because it kind of has a weird triangle that goes to the right. Like and I remember like the Constellation had a really weird one. Yeah.
I did like when like Mirror Archer was talking to non-Mirror Archer.
Yeah, that was fun.
I think those were cool.
Did you guys like CGI Gorn talking?
I thought CGI Gorn was all right.
For the time, I thought it was good. Good change.
Yeah, like this is 2005 now, right? 2005.
But it's so silly, but it's a silly episode, so great. It's good.
It's fine.
Yeah. Archer mocking Archer.
I thought they were gonna kiss at one point.
If I was here, I would have got that Gorn. He starts like taunting him.
He's like, let me whisper in your ear.
He's like, I'll go get that. I like they're using the three-way ladder. We didn't even get to see them use that on the original series. Right?
I kind of wish that
aren't those just antennas?
No, they're ladders.
I kind of wish Real Archer or a Prime Archer had like a little control box that he just kept pressing while talking to him.
Yeah. His name was Ziggy.
Yeah.
Ziggy. Yeah.
Right. So the whole sequence here to capture the Gorn ends up planting a bomb here, like in the form.
I just want to say, by the way, Malcolm is literally the worst military strategist in the world. Like this guy does not even take cover correctly.
Yeah, he's great at torture.
Good at torture, though.
Good at trying to get himself killed.
Well, he walks out, and then the two Makos come behind him, and then he takes cover.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing?
He was sick the day they taught military training.
Yeah, I guess so. I like how we got to see the Gordon Claw, though.
Yeah, he pushes the button. He's like, oh, and here comes my plan.
Them Gordons are smarter than we think.
And so Reed gets messed up pretty good here. Good. This is kind of his departure.
I cheered at that point, by the way.
Yeah, we don't see him after that. He's like, I failed you, Captain. I'm sorry.
Would have been great if Archer had just been like, yep.
Yep. And yet he's the Mako. Yeah, well.
So fun fact on Malcolm Reed here, guys, is Malcolm Reed was originally written as a major in the never-seen Starfleet Marine Corps. Also, plans had been made to include at least one Starfleet Marine in all away missions, but this was also dropped. However, in the Evil Parallel Visit universe, Reese did hold the rank of Starfleet Marine Major.
Oh, there you go.
Is that the one that René Auberjonois played? No, he played a lieutenant colonel. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do subscribe to the idea that the Starfleet does have some kind of a military.
Well, they would have to.
Yeah. And Archer going against this Gorn.
They put that fencing everywhere, right?
I know, it's great.
That hexagon fencing. Yeah.
It looks so good.
I think it's literally like that steel, those steel metal things that you like walk on, but they just put them like vertically and then they're good.
Imagine, the ship loses attitude or they're flying around and they hit that fence and it's like you said, Jaemeel, cheese grater on the face all the way down.
Oh yes.
Oh, that's what happened to him. It wasn't a plasma thing. He just ran into one of those things.
Is that what happened to Reed? Is that why his face was so messed up?
No, not Reed. Trip.
Oh, Trip.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Florida man.
Then
I loved how they had the yeoman just like dead sitting there.
Yeah, well, they hadn't cleaned up a lot of these bodies clearly. And then he starts wrestling with this Gorn.
Which, by the way, is super hard to get screenshots of. Just so you know.
I like how
we don't need him. We all saw it.
I like how like the Mako starts like hitting him in the head with the
he's
rifle. And then he just goes, what? And then he turns around and goes after that guy.
He's like, are you serious?
Look at his stubby little legs.
I love him. They should have made the Gorn look like this in Strange New Worlds. That would
awesome.
be amazing.
They might yet. We haven't really seen. Well, we only saw one.
Well, we saw
Gorn
the one adult, but he was in like a suit.
In a suit, yeah. But like, I think
I love the little ones with the helmets on.
Yeah. I thought this was an interesting way to defeat the Gorn by just using the grav plating. And
that was interesting. Yeah.
Like that.
Boy, they should have used that in every episode for every series past, since then. It would have solved a lot of problems for them.
Would have been so much easier with the Xindi.
Anytime the Klingons, the Ferengi take,
everything.
Just get them into a section
and those assholes who shapeshift. What were they called?
Changelings.
Not the changelings, the other ones.
Suliban.
Yeah, Suliban.
He gets him there, and then he just takes the gun and he shoots the Gorn.
Did they just show us Archer midriff there?
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Only because he's wearing a.
Say hello to my little friend.
A little extra.
Yeah.
Then the conversation here with T'Pol and Phlox, where I especially like how they had all original series food, like look like with the cubes and stuff like that. Like that looked great.
I never even noticed the cubes because the cubes are from the original series, which was so stupid to begin with.
And the little star mangoes or whatever they are.
But nobody would watch it if there was a star mango.
The problem is in the future, all the rations for the military as well as the science vessels all are just Jello. That's all it is.
And you want the new shows to look like this?
I do.
He wants square goddamn food.
I want square cube food, and that's what the 60s told me it would be.
How is Spock going to enjoy bacon for the first time if it's square food?
It's a protein.
You can make anything square.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
They'll get it going. He's a vegetarian.
Jaemeel, it was the 60s and we didn't know any better.
That's what Ted Mater said for every week on the podcast.
Every week.
But I do like how he's talking about like the different realities Phlox series. Like I looked at the literary works and Shakespeare was equally grim in both universes. There's some good gags in that writing. But she starts talking about the Federation and that aliens are equal in our or the Prime universe and whatever. So this starts planting the seeds.
So that was interesting though, that comment, because she's also like, she was in the command chair at the beginning of the first episode of this. You know,
Yeah.
she's like third in command, I think, or something.
She's third in command, but the Vulcans are definitely subservient to the humans.
She got promoted to first officer.
She was third officer before.
Well, because they
but she was promoted to first officer.
Right.
Well, they make mention that the Vulcans were actually trying to take over Earth when they landed.
Yes. And then we catch up here with the rebellion. We see that the ISS Avenger, a ship that we have not seen in the Prime Universe because they only have the 2 Annex class ships at this point, is under fire by Tellarites, Vulcans, and Andorians. They're attacking here, as we see, commanded by Admiral Black. Well, we also see that there's a captain here of the Avenger, but he's dead. So
yeah, he looks like he's had better days.
Admiral Black. Soval's here. He's wearing a Starfleet uniform.
And
now
then
now he's a big hipster.
He got the goatee.
You know he smells. You know it. You look at him and you're like, that dude smells like a fucking rancid pack of weed.
that nice throwback to Spock, you know, in the Mirror Universe with a goatee.
But then the Defiant shows up and they start taking out these Andorian Tellarites and Vulcans with quite ease because their ship's so much more advanced, guys. It's from the 60s. And look at this, look at the technology they have. Look at those yellow, green, red lights.
I personally like all those status screens that don't move.
They mean stuff.
They mean stuff.
Like that one there.
Okay.
Never tell.
You know, they're gonna get this going here. Archer's then he to apologize to get him from not destroy the Vulcan ship. He's like, I'm destroying the Vulcan ship.
I'm doing that.
I'm doing that. And then he left the Andorians go.
Well, let's be honest though, the Vulcans have made a ship that literally you want to shoot.
Yeah.
Like it's like you're like, can I get it through the holes? Yeah. It's like a target. It's a big target.
Yeah, he talks to the Admiral and the Avenger. He's like, Where's Forrest? Oh, I don't like you. And he's like, well, maybe you should come aboard. In this conversation,
come see my ship that is advanced.
Yeah, he starts talking to the Admiral, but his Jiminy Cricket here.
I love that though.
Taunting him the whole time. You know, he's like, well, give me the command of the ship. He's like, no. And then so he just decides to kill him. He's like, you paid for it.
Go back.
I
Go
love
back
the
one.
high kick.
Go back one.
That's
where he does the kick. I love that.
That's a great kick. That was a great kick.
It would have been amazing if this admiral had got on the ship and went, "This ship is from the future."
He's like, really?
Of course it is. You can't.
All they have is drywall in the future
and gray paint. Gray paint.
I never noticed it. What is this gray cable on the ground?
The future, Dave. It's
an extension cord, Dave.
That's where you plug the USB-C in. All the Apple people will rejoice with this new technology.
All right, never mind. Let's move on. I do like seeing the ships side by side like that.
I have USB.
Yeah, which one looks better? Like, I don't know.
From the outside? Oh, definitely the Constitution class.
Oh, it screws it up.
Dude, you don't think?
I do.
No.
Drop just Facebook. Just drop all the design, all the the design elements. Just get rid of it. Just
Wait
simple.
a second. Who's that girl? I don't see any midriff.
Is that the
That's
Paul?
Paul.
Oh,
She's
she's
wearing-
Paul.
She's wearing a Prime
she's
Universe
wearing
uniform.
Because she come over in a.
And there's the Orion girl from the other episode.
Oh yeah, she's here.
Yeah. I don't know if it's actually the same one, but
So Archer gives this whole speech about how basically this empire is run by idiots and they've allowed this war to continue. And
I like how he does it on top of a shuttle, though.
Yeah,
It does add some class.
Yeah, nobody claps. At the
Kind
end
of
the
a
speech.
pirate feel, right?
Well, it's more like George Patton, doing his speeches while he's standing on a tank. Like.
Then T'Pol sees Soval. She makes the whole, Vulcan.
He's like, "Don't do that around here.
Not even closed doors." But she's
you got to do that fisty Hail Hitler thing.
She does make this point here that Archer will make a terrible emperor if he does manage to take over, because he is not going to be friendly to the Vulcans or anybody else for that.
But he's so incompetent that you would kind of want him to be in charge.
Guys,
as opposed
I'm just glad that they still have Botox in the future.
Jesus. Oh my gosh.
There's here in the dark where with Archer and Hoshi, where he's talking about that he thinks that the officers don't believe in him. He doesn't have the faith of the crew, and then it's all the aliens' fault. By the end of this conversation, then I'm going to send all the aliens off of Defiant, and over to the Avenger, except for Phlox because he needs a doctor.
Well, Phlox doesn't count.
Phlox doesn't count. They're not rebels, he says.
Okay, so Dave, stop. This is the scene.
Here we go.
Okay.
What's wrong with this scene?
What the hell? All those little buttons. Like,
They do things. They go up
like,
their analog.
Do you guys remember Light Bright when you were kids? Like,
Light bright.
I have a light bright.
Yeah, like isn't that cool looking?
and then she
For the
gets a little.
60s and for nostalgia in
All
an
I know
episode
is
like
that-
this.
They buy all their consoles from the same place that they bought for the kit car from Knight Rider.
Oh,
They
yeah.
look like
Same colors and
Post-it
everything.
notes. It looks like Post-it notes on a wall in the previous picture.
It's so advanced we can't understand it, guys. It's futuristic technology.
It's like T'Pol knows to press this yellow button that does no labels.
No labels at
Oh
all.
my gosh.
It's because we're not advanced enough, Adam. We're
Yeah, but she's not advanced enough. How
we're
does
like
she know how to work
cavemen.
it?
We're like cavemen to these people. We don't know. So it's anyway.
Do you think they purposely put the girl behind her? If you go back one, the one with the straight haircut, because it resembles the chick. What was her name? The one that ended up killing people in the motion picture.
Janice Rand?
Rand, yeah. Do you think that's supposed to be like a callback? To
No,
Janice
because Janice Rand had like the big bun and everything.
Oh, she did have the bun. You're right.
Yeah.
We finally get to see Admiral Gardner, but not the Prime Universe, the Mirror Universe, because he's been mentioned like 10 times this season already. Admiral Gardner. Here, well, we see the Mirror Universe version of him. He's like, "Who the hell are you?" He's just, where's Forrest? What the hell is going on? He's like, "I'm taking over."
I
See?
love how he sits though. The sit is amazing. He's even got like he's got the one thing going up to his chin.
Yeah,
I love it.
There, he's very smug.
He's very shattering it right now.
Yeah,
That's why I think this is all a parody, like the way he's doing it. I think he did that on purpose.
I think they're like,
it's
what
badass.
are we making here? We're in the evil Mirror Universe. We can just have fun with it.
Well, that's the whole point of the Mirror Universe episode.
Yeah.
They're for fun.
I don't debate that he did it on purpose. I'm just saying
It didn't
it's
work
not
for you.
good.
It didn't work
No,
for you.
I'm with you, Kevin. It didn't work for me either.
I loved it.
Okay, Phlox is convinced by T'Pol and Soval to help with the resistance because
Paul's
he'll
like,
get lots
anybody
of.
else smell weed?
Can we get you concubines? He'll get all the concubines. He's like, well, if I can
Ooh.
get concubines, then it's a whole different story. Oh yeah, then we get the fight between Hoshi and
How
T'Pol.
many
But you
scenes
want-
do we have with people coming out of the goddamn the goddamn elevator with
Yes.
pointing guns? There's got to be like
Oh, that's-
4 of them in this episode.
That's a call.
But there was no need for her to change, though.
Yeah.
Notice
I
that
had a
there was
really
no
hard
need.
time getting these screenshots, by the way.
Well, she changes out of like the Defiant uniform. You mean? And,
Yes, into the midriff again.
I think so. She can have this fight with Hoshi.
Of course.
Yeah.
That was the whole intention.
Right.
I didn't
she-
realize how skinny Linda Park is until I saw her midriff from the side.
Yeah. She
My God, is she skinny?
But and Jolene Blaylock for that matter. I like how she's like, all the beds you've been jumping in lately. I'm surprised.
Yeah, that was cool.
Right?
I thought you'd be tired from all those beds you've been jumping in lately.
Yeah.
Look at that focus, see?
And T'Pol pretty much almost wins this fight, but then
Which she should.
the Mako takes the
Yeah.
the Mako wakes up and then shoots her.
She technically should be able to like handle, Hoshi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Empress Hoshi, she's tougher.
Yeah.
There's the interrogation here with
Have you
T'Pol
seen
and
this
Archer.
credit card? What did you charge on this? Was it for more drywall and gray paint?
All right. Phlox starts pulling out like relays in the Defiant system. Pulling the
First
systems
time
are going
Phlox
down.
is pulled out, but anyway.
Yeah. So Trip goes to check it
Got a lot of
out.
kids.
A lot of things happen quickly here near the end. Things move fast. But
Yeah,
basically,
it almost seems like they ran
Phlox
out of
just
time.
pulls out these futuristic looking lights out of the system, out of this cool looking set. on
You meet
board the Defiant.
the lightsaber power couplings there, the red beams of light.
Exactly. And then they start hammering the Defiant, but then Trip shows up and he has a wrestling match with Phlox, which Trip will end up winning, and then restore the Defiant systems, which he puts the lightsaber things back in there.
Lightsaber.
Oh, this is great. Where he's like, he thought he's
he
gonna
thinks
lose.
he's defeated. Like Archer thinks he's defeated, and they're like, "Oh, we're okay." Because Trip saves the day. Nothing.
It's like
Archer
shields are returning, power is restored.
Remember when you put me in the agonizer booth? Yeah.
right. And then
he's like lock on to their
And
core.
this is a perfect example of why the Cerritos design is terrible.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Right there, because of the engine room area
That's not the engine room.
on the NX. I think it is.
No, the engine is.
Because it goes out to the 2.
This is for the warp field stabilization.
Okay.
Because
Either way, I hate the Cerritos.
yeah, what makes it awkward
Terrible
is like the engine room is actually modular and you can enter it here, but you actually would have to take this off in order to swap that module out. It's kind of a complicated thing, but yeah, but that's not the engine area.
I regret making my joke.
Yes. But you get you didn't get a screenshot of the Archer. Destroy them.
Destroy them.
Oh, it's awful, right? Like it's awful.
It's so good.
And
I can't
amazing.
believe laughter.
It's so good.
Destroy
them.
That thing blows up like a bag of Jiffy Pop, man.
Oh, yeah. See you
And
later.
Saval's he's yelling.
So T'Pol lives though. She's not on the ship with the time, right? So
No.
No, Saval. I'm talking about
Saval died, yeah.
Yeah.
And all those other aliens. Anyway, so then there's another bang and fest with Hoshi and Archer.
Fest.
Yeah, post celebratory, that she's about to become the wife of the emperor, the consort of the emperor. What's that like? They start celebrating with champagne.
And he pours it on himself.
Pours it on himself.
And then he laughs, which I don't get.
Best part of the episode.
Right. And then he starts.
Like he doesn't even know how to drink from a fucking glass.
And then he's like, call the doctor. Oh yeah, I imprisoned the doctor.
And the whole time, Travis was behind the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was the earring.
Yeah, but he's got that red shirt on. He's not going to last long.
He's not lasting long.
Don't watch him. The Defiant gets to Earth, and then Sato, she takes command here with. So it's never quite clear if Archer does die at the end or if he's just like passed out there. But I'm pretty sure she kills him.
I like to think he's dead.
Yeah, they kill him.
I personally
There's
like
no way she would leave him alive at this point.
Only to torture him, maybe.
That poor chick in the background. You don't even get to see her face the whole time.
No, she's running.
She's smart. She's smart. She just keeps her head down. I'm doing my job. I don't want to be killed.
Yeah.
She's probably waiting for one of those screens to change.
Oh, this admiral. He's like, who the hell are you? I don't even know who you are. She's like, this is Empress Sato. Prepare for instructions. I love it. I love the twist.
Revenge of the discarded characters.
Yeah. Well, I'd Mayweather for that matter. They won't get their comeuppance here.
I think Mayweather's had more lines in this episode than he's ever had.
No, he didn't talk much, Jody.
He doesn't.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
He punches more than he speaks. Let's be real. But
you gotta admit though, that badass drop kick thing that he did was pretty sweet.
This episode though underscores that they wasted Linda Park.
Oh, absolutely.
Total waste.
Yeah.
At least they figured that out by the end, but it was.
I'm a little sad now, guys, because it's gone now. We're done.
Gone. Yeah. How about the fun facts? Anything else we can learn about the great sets and production design of this episode?
The great sets, yes.
How futuristic they looked.
Do you happen to have a stat on how much drywall they needed?
Well, so although I'll talk about the
local 391 came in and had to do all the drywall.
That's right. Small sections of the original series bridge had been recreated for Relics in 1992 and Trials and Tribulations in 1996. This is the first time a full 3/4 version of the famous set, Dave.
Famous because it's awesome.
Stood on a Paramount soundstage since 1969.
Well, they never should have left.
Since the 60s, Dave.
Yes.
Yeah.
Days.
You know what? Just because something's old, you don't throw it away. You know.
Sometimes you do, though.
Wow.
Several pieces of equipment on the Defiant Bridge, most notably the moving Sulu scope, were borrowed from the Star Trek fan production, Star Trek: The New Voyages in 2004.
Isn't that like when you have to go to
really?
the
That's
fabric?
cool.
Can we borrow your stuff because we're actually making a real Star Trek show?
Yeah.
Can we
But
borrow
they're
this?
not giving us down as well right after.
That's how like some of the fans got to be like producers on the show, wasn't it? Just because they had stuff where they could tell a story.
Yeah. Or there were some who like submitted like scripts and then it ended up becoming writers.
Wasn't Brandon Braga like that? Wasn't
and Ronald D. Moore too, I think. Yeah.
This is interesting. The title of this episode comes from a passage in the Bible, 1 Corinthians 13:12 from the American Standard Version. For now we see in a mirror darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I know fully, even as I was fully known. See Bible.
Well, Jody said earlier that we were going down the rabbit hole, but aren't we really looking through the looking glass? You know.
Boo.
Yes.
No, stop
Boo
trying.
earns.
Jaemeel already won the episode with, "What's this chord? It's the future, Dave."
Okay.
Good.
The Defiant Helm console in the captain's chair had been previously built for a museum attraction, Dave. There it is again.
This is amazing. Futuristic.
A museum, Dave. At a museum.
Canon.
All those futuristic museums.
Yeah. In this two-part episode, we get to see Jolene Blakelots with her own natural hair, as opposed to the short Vulcan wig that she wore for the rest of the series.
Oh, that's her actual hair. Okay.
Yeah, it's her actual hair. She probably loved that. She's like, oh my gosh, no more garbage wig.
I just assumed it was another wig. But I'm not too good at spotting wigs. That's one of my weaknesses.
Except
On board
terrible Vulcan ones.
Yeah.
Except for
On board
Vulcan ones.
On board the USS Defiant, the first human casualty found is wearing a red Starfleet uniform. This keeps up with the tradition of the Star Trek 1966, where red shirts were usually unnamed crew members joining the main cast on away missions. And they were the first to die.
Not always, but yes, most of the time. It's kind of the legend of the red shirt is even greater than what happened.
Oh, this is a cool one too. The title sequence uses a mirrored clip of the Soviet Alpha-class submarine firing a torpedo from the Hunt for Red October. The submarine used to portray the Dallas in that movie.
Is that what that's from?
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew it was from somewhere. Yeah.
Newsweek magazine listed the 2-hour episodes as first in its list of the top 10 Enterprise episodes. I kind of agree. It's up there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's the best episode.
It's in the
but
top
up there.
10.
It's up there. Yeah.
Top 10.
We'll see how the ratings pan out, guys.
Yep. Mayweather was given more of an active role than usual in this episode, so that Anthony Montgomery could have more fun playing Archer's bodyguard. Writer Mike Sussman was inspired by this change by the non-canon novel Dark Mirror, where the mirror version was normally a meek Reginald Barkley turns up as the bodyguard for Mirror Picard. So,
You know what made Voyager suck? Barkley.
what's that?
Barkley?
Every episode
Yeah.
with Barkley in it was a terrible Voyager episode.
Oh, I like them.
Well,
And if
see-
you had Troy in there too, that's a trifecta of suck right there.
well,
Are you talking about Next Gen or Voyager?
No,
both.
Both.
Well,
Okay.
Both.
Well.
Both.
There
And
was
seeing
some
how
good Troy episodes though. And
Troy Barkley episodes.
no.
Okay, that's the combination. And seeing how Barkley, the actor, turned out to be such a scumbag.
You know what? Today, guys, is an astounding day because today I agree with Sam. Kess made Voyager suck. I completely agree.
I actually used to agree, but after watching the first 3 seasons, totally disagree.
Really?
Kess and Neelix together make Voyager suck.
Oh, okay.
Kess is not that bad,
Oh my gosh.
but that relationship is the worst.
Yeah, it's creepy.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's got like a pedo vibe and everything. It's so creepy.
Justice for Harry Kim 1. Justice for Harry Kim 1.
Well, in Star Trek Online, Harry Kim is a captain.
And in Star Trek Online, the Harry Kim 1 gets turned into a Kabali.
It's true. Yeah.
Yep. Adam, resume, please.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah. I think Adam's still trying to find something.
Okay, prior to this episode, the writers had spent a lot of time. Yeah. So I'm going to leave it here. This episode, prior to this episode, the writers had spent a lot of time to find a way to bring the Gorn into the series without violating continuity.
It's the Gorn.
Thank you.
Sorry.
You just took all of it out of him right at that moment. He's like, screw you, Dave.
No, it's good.
Adam,
I like that better than what I was reading. All right, we're done, Dave. Let's move on to ratings.
What happened with the Gorn? I thought we were talking about the Gorn. Okay, here, let's go. All right.
Why did you put me there? Okay,
you're here, Jaemeel, so you have to weigh
You have
in.
to vote.
Yeah,
And not only that, you have to vote first.
Yeah, Jaemeel,
okay.
you're first.
So I have to go for Bound first, and Bound I give a 7.3.
Interesting.
Wow.
What?
That's way better than Kevin said.
7.3.
All the
I think
dancing.
Kevin actually wanted to give it negative, but we wouldn't allow him to.
Yeah, I fucking hated it.
I know you fucking did. For part 1, I give an 8. For part 2, I give a 7.
Okay.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like the first part where it kind of introduces a lot of the intrigue with the characters are interesting. And then it just gets into this kind of conclusion where you're facing the Gorn, they're facing another mutiny. You stop the mutiny clock count, Jody. You were supposed to count how many mutinies.
Sorry.
Yeah.
There's at least 4.
So yeah, I felt like it was the episode. They try to fit everything into that second part, and it just didn't really do it justice. So, yeah.
Sam's saying 10 and 10 from his perspective.
Of course, all the midriffs.
Norman says he would give Bound a 1, but he would give this a 10. So there you go.
I see all you guys have been going to the Davan School of Rating.
All right. Well, Jody, how about we come back over to you then to start?
All right. First part I'm gonna do. Wow, my green screen's really going nuts today. The first part I'm gonna do an 8, and that's for 2 points for every mutiny that happens.
Okay.
And then the second episode, I'm gonna give it 9 because it only is really worth a 7, like Jaemeel said, but I'm gonna give it an extra 2 for all the midriff.
All right, Adam.
I give it the first one a 9. I like Mirror Universe, but I gotta say, bringing the Gorn into it with no context at all, I give that a 7.
It's the Gorn.
Right. I knew that was coming.
I'm going high on this, guys. 2 10s.
Come on, Dave. Dave, come on.
That was out of left field.
All right, I'm going 7s on both because it could have been better. It's good because it's fun, but the story is not.
Oh, the story's garbage.
It's not well written.
The story's garbage. I agree.
I agree.
All right,
but I rate based on how much fun I had.
And that Defiant set is so dated.
In my mind.
At least it
probably
to
still
the
has
canon.
It probably still has lightning ports in it.
Oh, God. All right. Well, we're averaging an 8.4 on part 1 and an 8 on part 2,
which is pretty close to IMDb, really, because part 1 got a slightly better.
Part 1 got 8.3, part 2 got 8.2. But even
the Gorn stuff was useless.
Yeah.
It was a fun little fight, I thought.
Kevin, it's the Gorn, Kevin.
It's the Gorn.
All right, let's take it down. Okay, Jody, we're almost near the end here.
We are. So we're going to be doing a 2-part next week, which is Demons as well as Terra Prime, which is part of the Terra Prime arc. The best thing about this is RoboCop's back.
Well, it's the first time because this is before he did Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yeah.
He plays a completely different character.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. The only thing that sucks about this is there's a baby.
Okay.
That's in the second episode.
Okay.
So.
There's a baby and it's going to suck.
It's going to suck. I'm just going to let you know the whole baby part of this is just stupid. I hate it.
Did Trip have him?
Yes.
They were in a rowboat. Okay.
No rowboat.
Did he cry for his mother and burn up all the dilithium in the world, in the universe?
No, this isn't Discovery.
No?
Yeah.
Then
Did he put every warp core in the entire universe?
They didn't use their fungus drive either, so don't worry about it.
I've never really watched that 2-parter that we're doing next.
All right.
Properly.
You know what? It's still fun.
Yeah.
And you know what? RoboCop definitely makes it.
Are we excited for the? Kevin hasn't even seen it at all, but the final episode is called These Are the Voyages.
Sam, you're gonna be so disappointed, man.
Kevin is gonna wreck it.
This episode is my most hated episode of Star Trek. So
it's up there for me. It's up there for me for sure.
Yeah,
it is such a shitty episode.
Yeah,
the last episode. Of the
I can't remember it. I have no recollection.
Bad.
I mean,
well, then you're going to go in, and at the end of it, you're going to be wishing that you could see all the drywall, like you just
yes.
A crappy. It's a very bad TNG episode.
Yeah, it's basically a shitty TNG episode. That's easy to look at it.
All y'all going to go back. And then you're going to give a couple more points to Bound after you watch. These are the
Bound looks like a masterpiece.
I will not.
So then what we're going to do after that, so that way we end this series off with a nice thing, is the last episode we're going to do, which is in 3 weeks, will be the pinnacle episode for us. We're going to take the top 5 episodes based on our ratings and the top 5 shitty episodes. And then we're going to re-rank them, or we're going to say if we like them now, or maybe weren't so hard on them.
Like have a better look at them.
We'll have a little bit more of a deep dive, I guess.
All right.
So
that sounds like a good idea.
So we'll do that to end it, and then I think after that point we're moving over to DS9 to finish that off. I think, aren't we?
Yeah, we got one more season of DS9. We're going to be moving it to Monday nights. Jaemeel, I hope you can come back for that. When we go to
you're always welcome, Jaemeel.
Yeah. Jaemeel and Kevin have been on a lot of DSPS9 podcasts already. But when we ended season 6, it was just like it's hard to do 2 of these a week. So on top of everything else, so we have a good momentum here. Let's keep going on. Finish DSPS9, and then
I will say I started season 7, and oh god, does it start terrible?
Well, don't go too deep into it because we gotta save for the podcast.
You're gonna have to rewatch it again.
Yeah. But even watch season 6 just to get sort of. How far along are you, Adam? Catching up on that.
I just started season 6. I gotta get moving. So.
Okay, and you've never seen it before, right?
No.
Oh wow. Really? I didn't know that. I've already seen all of DS9, but
yeah. So when we get to
season
7,
know a lot of what happens, though.
Yeah,
just from talking to all of us. Yeah.
Do you know about the prophets?
Catch it. Yes.
You mean from the first fucking episode?
Do you know about the prophets? Have you heard the good word, Adam?
I've heard the word, Adam. Do you have a minute to talk about the prophets?
Oh, brother Betty.
If you don't have time for that, what about a extended warranty?
Jennifer.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, watch out for on the channel this week. We'll be talking about Star Trek Lower Decks, the next episode. I don't know if we have a title for it yet, but we'll be on Thursday.
I don't think there is a title yet. No.
Watch out for spoilers. They watched the episode at New York Comic Con.
Oh, okay.
Oh, did they?
This will be episode 7. We're coming on this week. 8. We'll be doing episode 8. So we're getting towards the end of Lower Decks, and as we mentioned, the Deep Space Nine one to return in the near future. I did a trivia edition yesterday on the Trouble with Trivia, along with Davan and Merrick with Ashley hosting. That was a lot of fun.
Great Darmok questions. I listened to
great Darmok questions. Oh, Ashley always throws me for a loop with those ones.
She's working on an all Darmok.
Yeah, I heard.
All Darmok trivia. Which,
Florida man who
I would like to
sunbathes.
be on that. That sounds awesome.
I think it might be a replay of the champions that were there. So Merrick, Davan, and Dave. But if one of them falls through, I'm pretty sure that things could be worked out.
Davin's threatening to bring in Sean from Trek Culture to take me on. So why not Trivial? Did Trivial do it? There was one last night, wasn't there?
No, not last night. There's one coming up before the month is done.
There's another Hollywood one.
Yeah, next Hollywood. Then Transformers.
Then Transformers, which is the one I'm on.
Yes, and then in December, I know it's preemptive to say, but there might be something magical happening in December. Okay. I'll leave it at that.
Is it Harry Potter?
No, not Jesus.
Snow? I don't know what he's going at. But
it's the 100th anniversary of a certain property.
Disney?
Dude, yes, okay. Thank you, Dave. I didn't want to officially announce it, but we're looking at a Disney-themed episode in December. Thanks,
Are you
Dave.
going to have questions like, why are they fucking everything up?
We already knew that. I heard that like weeks ago.
Yeah. What?
Yeah,
Dave, you blabbed too much. I only told you.
Somebody blabbed already about that, I think.
I didn't say anything. I would love an old Dharma trivia. Okay,
yeah,
who would happen? Yeah, who would? There was some fun ones. I also did the debate 9 with Trekkie Bree and Adam on Friday.
Yes, that was also very good.
Yeah, we came out of that one, and James was like, "I think we need to explain the rules at the beginning." I was like, "I think you're right." So.
I like that she pointed out the obvious. That was great. Yeah.
The only thing we're consistent about on this channel is not doing things consistently.
Yeah, exactly.
Like letting their guests promote their show.
Yeah, so we're also working on being better at that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You did.
That was actually funny with Jaemeel. I have to admit, Jameel's like, I got stuff going on.
It wasn't that we wouldn't let her. It just felt like Davan was trying to wrap up that show.
I'm sending a message like, Dave, you gotta tell her.
It was. I was trying. Davan just wanted to wrap up that podcast so fast.
But when Davan gets to the point where you're done, Davin's like he puts up the goddamn logos so quick. It's like bang, 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 bang.
And we're on this show. We're on this show. And I was like, okay, bye. So yeah, but then we talked a little bit after. So it was good fun. Check that one out. All the different channels on the United Federation of the Podcast. David, we're trying. We'll see. And that's the hope we can maybe get him in there. Hold Up season 2 just kicked off. I was on that one, talking space movies, graphic histories with André Myette. Look for that. X-rated tomorrow. The final episode of X-Men the Animated Series. David and André talking about that, and then getting in.
Is that the Jubilee's holiday whatever episode?
I'm not
the
sure.
Graduation one.
Oh, it's graduation. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Ugh.
Survivor Big
the movies, I think, and then
currently covering Survivor and Big Brother on Super Mater Brothers, if you're into those. And we mentioned Trivial Debates, Hellbound Podcast. Eamon Mater's music podcast was postponed till this Saturday. Look out for that. And he'll be doing one with Benny Graves in the near future, talking Black Sabbath.
So. Of course. Okay.
I'd say I'm shocked by that one. But
Star Trek, are we the ship debate tomorrow?
Is that tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
I don't know. I wasn't invited.
Is it tomorrow?
Is it tomorrow? It might be, but that means I have to pull together 75 images.
I'm an S tier villain, and I wasn't even invited to this.
Way to go, Jaemeel! You ruined Dave's night.
It's the 24th. It's the 24th, I believe.
Good. So, because I have to get an image of every ship to do the rank, and like, there's a lot of ships. So we
even a little one that took a little trip.
A little ship that took a little trip. It's on the list. Don't worry. So
of course it is.
Anyway,
which no one could remember yesterday.
Yeah. I'm going to remember that one. I should have been able to remember it. Okay, and with that, I think we can get out of here, guys. I got a couple quotes. I'll play one and then one more thing.
Destroy them.
I don't have that one, but I have this one. All right. See everyone. See you next time, everyone.
Great men are not peacemakers. Great men are conquerors.
You're speaking with Empress Sato. Prepare to receive instructions.
Long live the Empire. All right. See you next time.
Oh, we're